Hello, Helena. It's Emily McVeigh, Executive Director of the United Way of the Lewis and Clark area. We're here for this week's United Way Partner Spotlight with Childcare Connections, and we've got Brandy here today.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Tell us a little bit about Childcare Connections and how you support families in the community.
Yeah, so Childcare Connections, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. However, we do have a state contract, so we administer the Best Beginnings Scholarship Program through the state to help families pay for childcare. In addition to that, we also help families find childcare, not just pay for it, and then we also help the childcare providers get and stay licensed. We do other things too, but those are the big buckets.
Big things.
The big things.
So I think everybody kind of knows that childcare is really expensive.
It is.
It's not really a secret. So it's what makes it so expensive? What makes it just hard to afford right now?
Well, childcare it's kind of one of those vicious circles, right? So childcare workers don't get paid very much. They're pretty much the bottom of the barrel. But the cost to childcare is really expensive. And so where does that fall? It's because by the time a provider pays their staff, because they have to meet child to staff ratios. So you can't just have one person for 20 kids. So you have to have lower ratios, food costs, building costs, supplies, insurance. I mean, it all adds up really quickly. And that's why the wages are so low, but yet costs are so high for families, because there's just so much expense. That cost of care is really high.
I know you brought a really great breakdown to a meeting we were at a few months back that was really helpful for people to understand that breakdown, which I don't know if you guys have that on your website for people to look at, but it is, I think, really helpful because people think, oh, those childcare providers must be making bank.
Yeah, they're charging, $750 to $1,000 a kiddo. Multiply that by how many kids? That's a lot of money. But really, when you put that right back into your staff and long hours and all of those supplies, it really doesn't come out to much.
Well, and it's training and like you said, the supplies and the insurance costs and all of those things, it really does get expensive.
And just staff costs. So you figure, in a childcare center, the ratio is 1 to 4 for infants. So, you have 8 infants, that's 2 full-time staff. That's pretty much what is being paid is what's going out to pay for staff.
Yeah, it's a wash.
It is. It's a total wash.
It really doesn't add up very well. So, yeah, I know that's really important for people to understand because we have to value the people that are caring for our children, and they are not making a lot of money.
They are not. And, nationally, they say childcare is affordable if it's 7% of a family's income. However, we're not at 7%. Different counties vary, but, several of our areas that we work with are at 20%, 30% of income just for childcare. And, yeah, it's expensive. And that's why we have the scholarship program and anything and everything we can to really help families get into care.
So what are the resources that you guys have to help make it affordable for families?
So we have a new program. So we have the Best Beginnings Scholarship, which is 185% of poverty is the qualifying income for that. So a lot of people don't qualify, but still need that help, right? Because that's really not that much. So we have instituted what we call the GAP Scholarship. And with our GAP Scholarship, it's completely done through fundraising efforts and grants that we write. We don't have any state funding for that. This is just a program that we've created. And essentially with that GAP Scholarship, it's for families that don't qualify for Best Beginnings, but still need a little extra help to get back into the workforce. So maybe it's like the first couple months of childcare that they need help with just till they get in, get some paychecks coming their way. So we'll do up to $2,500 once a year for a family that gets paid directly to the provider to help them out with any of those costs. Like I said, we completely fundraise for that. So that's really always looking for funders, donations to help us keep that going because we found families really need it.
And that's on top of the normal Best Beginnings grant scholarships, and you said that's 185%?
185% of poverty is what people need to be at income to qualify for that. So
And-
our gap is obviously above that.
Yeah, and that number really is a little bit higher than people would think. Our average median income is fairly high in Lewis and Clark County, which means the poverty level is actually higher than people would ever expect. And so
Yes.
when people think, oh, I wouldn't qualify for a Best Beginnings grant, it's really better for people to just go and ask.
Absolutely.
And check in with you guys and see what they do qualify for, because people might qualify for something that they would not anticipate.
Oh,
qualifying.
absolutely. And, we look at household size and all those other factors as well. So definitely, if you have questions, come in and ask. It's better to ask than not, and then not get a benefit that could be really helpful for your family.
So how can people help support that GAP scholarship?
So like I said, that's donation, fundraising, all of that. Right now, we are in the midst of fundraising to increase our funds for the GAP scholarship. So you can go to our website, which is cccmontana.org, and donate there. You can always stop in the office, ask questions, donate that way. We're running some different campaigns, actually that'll end this Friday, but we've started a new thing that will continue each year, where we're gnoming people. So if you want to give a donation, we will take these cute little gnome yard signs and put them up in people's yards, essentially.
Saw them outside of your office
yes,
yesterday.
So
Yep.
that's one way that we're raising some funds. It's been kind of fun. The gnomes, they live at your place for 2 days if you get gnomed. You can buy garden insurance, so you don't have to get gnomed. We're going to up our game a little bit next year and put some more things in yards. We don't use real gnomes because we're afraid they'll get stolen.
Sure. Or broken. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have these very large gnome signs that work really well.
But was there like a dinosaur option?
There is a dinosaur option. It's a very large, like 5-foot full-on iron dinosaur that we will deliver to somebody's yard. That does cost a little more because there's a little bit more
I think it's worth it.
transportation. We will be bringing those back in our fall campaign as well. But you can donate anytime. We're always seeking funds to help families get back into the workforce.
Yeah, because, well, as we know, we have a lot of job openings in our community.
We
and One of the
do.
reasons people aren't working is
They don't have
access
childcare.
to childcare.
Yep.
So this is a really important thing.
It's that vicious cycle. You can't work because you don't have childcare, but we don't have childcare slots. Yep.
Yeah, or people can't afford it.
Or can't afford it. Yep.
That safe, licensed childcare.
That's right.
So what other things do you want to chat about?
Well, this week is kind of a big week for us. This Friday, May 10th, is Provider Appreciation Day nationwide. So we are working in all of our counties to get the county commissioners to declare May 10th as Provider Appreciation Day. In conjunction with that, we are hand delivering provider gifts to every licensed childcare provider within our 6-county range. This year we did teacher calm down kits for facilities, because we all know teachers need a break too. So there's, some back massagers and scalp massagers and some candy and other little things to just keep our caregivers, give them a little self-care and keep them going, because it's a really important job. And I don't feel like they always get recognized like they should. So we just really want to put out a shout out to all childcare providers that thank you for all the work you do. And we hope everybody acknowledges the providers in their lives.
Yeah, because I think it's also Teacher
It
Appreciation
is.
Week, and I think everybody knows how important teachers are. And a lot of times, the childcare providers kind of get the babysitter role. They say, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'll take them to the babysitter." Well, your kids are with the childcare providers 8 hours a day, sometimes 9 hours a day.
Yep.
They're really important role models in their kids'
are.
lives, and so yeah, it's really important to appreciate them.
And a child's brain growth is the most during those first, they say 1 to 3, but 1 to 5 years.
Yep.
And so it is really important to acknowledge the hard work that childcare providers do, and that we couldn't work without them.
Yeah. So great. That's awesome. That's a lot of 6 counties
Yeah.
delivery.
I did some this morning. It went really well. It's great. And almost all of our counties have proclaimed the day for us. So
Great.
we're just plugging along with that.
Is there any other ideas for ways people can show appreciation to their childcare providers?
You know, even just saying thank you is great. Writing a little note, sending a little gift. It doesn't have to be much. You could do some volunteering in the program. If there's a program need, maybe you could supply something to the program. It's just really about showing appreciation. Having your kiddos draw a picture to give to the caregiver, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I think even just that, saying thank you, is important.
Great. All right. Any other news for Childcare Connections or?
We're just busy plugging away. We celebrated the Week of the Young Child last month.
Yes.
We're getting through provider appreciation. Our gnoming is about to wrap up. So just, feel free if you have any questions about the scholarship program, about getting referrals for childcare or becoming a provider, reach out to us. There's contact forms on our website, again, cccmontana.org. And we're happy to help any way we can.
Yeah, definitely. Always looking for more providers, right?
Yes, always looking for more providers. If it's even a thought in your mind, just let us know and we'll talk you through it and tell you what it takes and what you need to do. And you can start small. You don't have to start, at a big center with 100 kids. You can start with 6 to 8 in your home.
Yeah, yeah, and it's worth it if you're staying home with your kids and want to take on 1 or 2.
Absolutely.
That's,
Yep.
That's a way to make some money and
be able to stay home.
And sometimes that builds into a much bigger thing.
It does. We have lots of providers.
I've seen that happen over and over.
Yeah, we have a Townsend provider retiring next year, and she's been in the business for, I think, close to 30 years. So started as a take care of your own kids, bring in a couple more, and
sometimes you just fall in love with it.
You just do.
Yep.
So it works great.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us again how to get a hold of you, where to find you.
Well, I'm Brandy. You can reach me at just brandy@cccmontana.org is my email, or just go to our website, cccmontana.org, and all of our information is there. All the forms are there, all our contact information. Just give us a call, email, stop in.
All right. Great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Helena. We'll see you again next week.